Today we are excited to be visiting SEED alumni Savannah Simon, an entrepreneur, activist, and public speaker. Savannah is an Indigenous-born leader with a natural desire to stand up for what she believes in. Okay, thank you for joining us today. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what inspired you to start Savvy Unlimited?
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. I love SEED. SEED is where it all began for me way back when as an entrepreneur, so much support. And so a little bit about me, I'll introduce myself in my native language, Mi'kmaq. So Gwe Nindalozi Savvy Simon, Wedebexi Elsie Buktuk, Olnawegadi, Bazna Wigi Det Jabuktuk, Nkwisk na Wasadegat Nakoa, Migaju na Sarah Simono, Wowowum na Dexter. So I said that my name is Savvy Simon. I'm from Elsipogtog First Nation, New Brunswick, so that's like an hour north of Moncton. But I live here in Halifax. And I said my sons are Wasadeg and Nakoa, and my Migaju, my grandmother, is Sarah Simono, and my little puppy is Dexter. That's what I said.
What advice would you share with other Indigenous individuals who are thinking of starting a business?
I highly advise to get mentors and follow people that do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Follow in real life, not just on social media. What I mean is ask them, literally knock door to door and ask, can I job shadow you? Can I, experience what you do in a day? Can I help you out? Can I volunteer? Do you need a hand? Do you need an extra hand? And get to experience that, because as a motivational speaker, anytime I would get to present in communities, I was guided from a mentor, Don Burnstick, native comedian Don Burnstick. He's hilarious. He always said to me from the beginning, always make sure you have someone with you, an assistant for your safety, but also you can make them your opening act. And then they can have a taste of this lifestyle and this career life. So I did that. So I would hire youth to come with me. I'd pay them out of my pay. They would drum, they would open up dance or, whatever that their talent was. And some of those youth that followed me around have their own businesses now and are full-time doing like what I'm doing.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
That I would say is a huge thing, is to, no man is an island. Like, we're not all meant to be alone. And I couldn't be where I am if it wasn't for all the elders, support, the therapists, the spiritual guides, the shaman, all the incredible business-minded people who are more successful than I am and have been doing it longer. Without me networking and having, the fortune is in the follow-up. So having your business cards, Vistaprint is cheap, and so having the business cards, passing them out, and then following up with people is really huge. And just seeing, like, if there's any opportunities. I'm kind of fearless when it comes to opportunities. Like, if there's something I want, I will just go for it. So I just want to encourage any Indigenous youth to be fearless. Just know that what you want, there's people that want to help you succeed. Yeah. There's a lot of people that want to help you succeed. They want to see you win, especially with organizations like SEED and, other organizations that are around your area that are similar to what SEED has to offer, the grants, the free workshops, the free up-leveling, the free interview skills. Like, I was and still am at heart like a junkie for all those things. Like, I would go to all kinds of conferences, events, like, how can I level up? How can I, network? How can I meet people? And so that has helped me significantly in my career.
Yeah. What is a proud moment that you've experienced so far on your entrepreneurial journey?
There are so many, but I would have to say, as a mom, I gotta plug this one, because never in a million years did I ever imagine doing the works that I do, motivational speaking, workshop facilitating, going into communities and spreading the love with my sons. So there was a speaker. Sometimes we have like a bucket list or a dream list of like gigs that we want to speak at. Yeah. And one of mine was GOV, G-O-V, which is Gathering Our Voices. And it's in British Columbia every year. And it's called GOV, Gathering Our Voices. And it's an Indigenous gathering. And it's every year it's in British Columbia. And it's a big deal. And it's incredible. And their native culture is extremely rich. And I got asked to do motivational speaking there recently. And my two sons, Wasadeg and Nakoa, they are hoop dancers. Do you know what a hoop dancer is in the Native culture?
Not in the Native culture, no.
So basically, it's like hula hoops, and they have their own decor, like Native style, and they dance like powwow with the regalia, but they create animals with the hoops.
Oh, cool.
So my sons can dance really well with 12 hoops each. So they can make an alligator, a snake, a bear, an eagle wingspan. They can make a smudge bowl. They can just do all kinds of cool things, and you tell a story with the animals.
Yeah.
So my son started hoop dancing. It was all channeled divine, like beauty, how that started. And then, I got the gig at Gathering Our Voices, and I said to them, you know, my sons are saving up money for light up hoops. So do you know how much one light up hoop costs? Take a guess for fun.
Oh, maybe like $100.
$150 for one. So they each need 12.
Yeah,
So that's
what adds
a
up.
lot of money. So we create our vision boards, and they put on their vision board for the year. They want light up hoops.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, boys, I'm going to teach you how to make money, and you can buy your own light up hoops, you know. So I asked Gov, can they also have a little gig to be my opening act? And they said yes. So we did a gig together in British Columbia, Gathering Our Voices, and then there was an after party after, and it was, you know, a Red Road after party on stage, like a concert, music. And my sons their confidence through the roof with hoop dancing, with the culture, starting at a young age. You know, they were, I think, 7 and 4 or 8 years old, 8 and 4 when we did that.
Nice.
And now they're 9 and 5. And so when they did that, and to see them on stage at the after party dancing and like hoop dancing a little bit on stage, I was like, wow, like I did not have that confidence at that age, you know?
That's
So
awesome.
that was probably like the highlight of my career so far. Yeah.
So what led you to create the hashtag Speak Mi'kmaq campaign, and how has it grown since?
I love this question. So this is such a cool story. I was working as a project manager for Red Road Project, which is a sub-company from Mi'kmaq, which is based in Cape Breton, Anamagi, Cape Breton. So there was an office for Red Road Project in Halifax area, and I was working with youth. And so we would go to communities, visit elders, medicine, sweats, you know, experience all the things, and it was all like Red Road. To walk the Red Road, to live a life on the Red Road means that no alcohol, no drugs, no cigarettes, like just literally just living in the purest form as we were created by Creator. That's what it usually means, like the Red Road. So this job that I was working was to inspire youth to stay on the Red Road. And so when that was happening, I was speaking Mi'kmaq to the youth that I was leading, and their parents found out about that, and then they got a phone call, and one of the parents said, I heard you're speaking Mi'kmaq to my child, and I was like, yes. And then they were like, well, our community of Elsipuk, which is Digby Bear River in English, Elsipuk, they said that this reserve has nobody speaking Mi'kmaq anymore, and we need your help. And I said, whoa, like I'm not a teacher, I don't have my Bachelor of Education, like I took business administration, marketing, you know, and I'm not a fluent speaker. I can speak quite a bit, I understand fluently, but I'm not fluent, so I didn't feel worthy enough to do that. And I said, they were begging me to come and teach. They said, please, nobody will drive all the way down. So they were begging me to come to the reserve. They said that they're having a hard time finding someone to go all the way down to Digby and do it in the winter, crazy weather, you know, ice sheets on the road and stuff. And so at the time I was single, no children. So I went up for the challenge, and I prayed about it first. I said, I always like to pray before a big decision. And then, I was actually gifted with a curriculum from a teacher, a Mi'kmaq curriculum. So I ended up knowing more than I thought I knew, and it's amazing what you really do know, and when there is a little bit of support that does come in and help you. And so we had a lot of fun. It was a contract, and once that was over, because we did this is the Jigamahan, so we did like music, and then we did like drums and smudging and talking circle and language, and went over Francis Smith orthography style of it. There's different dialects. And so with that, then when it was done, the students were like, well, you already have a YouTube channel, so can you please do videos for us and help us to stay, keep the language alive. And I was so shy about it. I was like, no way, I'm not doing any Mi'kmaq language videos. No. And they were like, please, like, we're gonna miss you and we want to keep, the language alive. And so I thought about it, prayed about it, and then I started a movement. It just came, like, I just had to be brave, and it was Olnoeezi, it's that easy, speak Mi'kmaq. So basically it was a concept of 1 word a day, 6-second video, 1 day, every day, and I blew up. That's what made me blow up on social media.
Wow.
So it was just like bossy, sit, bossy, Olnoeezi, it's that easy, speak Mi'kmaq. Nagu said, son. Nagu said, Olnoeezi, it's that easy, speak Mi'kmaq. That's it, like 1 word, say the slogan, say the slogan. Oh my God, try to say that real fast. And so what ended up happening was it was a wildfire, and children were doing the Olnoeezi movement, and elders that had gone to Indian residential school that were too shy to ask, how do I speak my language that I lost? Because they didn't get it back. Not everyone got their language back. And so it just really touched my heart to be able to do that. And then when I became a mom, I just kind of stopped doing that every day because the kids take over.
Yeah.
They're the priority. So yeah, but that's how the hashtag Speak Mi'kmaq was birthed, because it's like I would encourage and ask everyone and anyone, and we had Italians, Chinese, we had the whole world doing hashtag Speak Mi'kmaq.
Nice.
So they would either, like, even just if they drew something in Mi'kmaq and they posted it on Instagram, or back then like Twitter and like Facebook, they would all use the hashtag. And so still to this day, if you use the hashtag, it's like a file. For those that don't know what a hashtag is, it's like a filing cabinet, is how I like to explain it. So like if you open that one file, it collects it all in one place on each app that you look at. And so I also have a YouTube playlist, the hashtag Speak Mi'kmaq YouTube playlist, that universities use, colleges use, schools use, school boards, like government organizations use that when they want to learn the language.
Awesome. That's great. I'm definitely going to check that out after.
Yay!
How do you stay grounded and motivated when challenges arise?
Such a good question. So this brings me back to this one specific moment where I was driving on my way to a motivational speaking gig, and this was earlier on in my career, before I was a mom. And along with, like, the goodness of sharing the Olnoeezi, it's that easy, Speak Mi'kmaq movement, there's a lot of positivity, a lot of support and everything. There was also a couple of waves of extreme cyberbullying, and it was mostly from my own tribe, my own people, hurt people, and that crabs in the bucket, and just like envy and just people that are unhappy, right? And so that was really hard. That was really hard to go through as a young woman. And I've learned a lot from those times. So from that moment, I used to look at my phone, and I would look at social media before I did a gig, right? And then that's absorbing negative energy and everyone else's energy. So now I stay grounded by, I don't look at my phone before a gig, and I don't like collaborate with other like energies. Like, I really protect my energy for that specific gig. And so that's also included in the fee, the speaking fee and the motivational fee, because I dedicate my whole day towards that organization and giving my whole spirit and good vibes and everything. Like, energy is currency, and my energy is high, top-notch frequency because I have a really good spiritual hygiene. I take really good care of myself, and it's, those low moments of the bullying and feeling alone, and before not having a good self-care routine, not having a good morning routine. Now I'm very dedicated to my own morning ritual, my own morning routine. Do I miss some days? Of course. Sometimes it's an afternoon routine instead of a morning. Yeah, whenever you can squeeze it in. So that, and then also the breath work, EFT tapping, and affirmations, positive affirmations. So I started doing positive affirmations before it was trendy. Yeah. And I didn't, that's like one of those divine things that just came to me. Yeah. And so at that moment that I'm talking about, where I was driving to a gig and I had seen like a bunch of cyber bullies, like they were really trying to hurt me and bring me down. And I put my phone away. I had like 30 minutes before the gig, and I started to look in the mirror in the car, and I just said, you have a purpose. You're here for a specific reason. You have gifts. These people in there want to hear what you have to say and what you've been through, the pain that you've walked through, the childhood that you've had. They've had a similar, they feel alone. and you have a message to share. You have good energy. You're a good person. You're a kind person. You're awesome. Like you have such, and I start pumping myself up, right? And becoming my own best friend, my own cheerleader. And so then it became from that negative, alone, dark feeling of being cyberbullied, I then transmuted it, alchemized it, and made it into a positive routine. So anytime then I adopted that, whenever I was going to do a talk or a workshop or anything, I would look in the mirror and be like, you got this, you're amazing, you give the best hugs, your heart is pure, remember who you are, and I just start like pumping myself up. So now it's a part of, and then the whole world, not saying I started it, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know how come I knew about it way back when, but then now, like, affirmations are such a big deal, and I'm like, I'm all for that, you know?
That's great. How do you stay grounded and motivated when challenges arise?
Such a good question. So this brings me back to this one specific moment where I was driving on my way to a motivational speaking gig, and this was earlier on in my career, before I was a mom, and along with the goodness of sharing the "Oh no easy, it's that easy, speak Mi'kmaq" movement, there's a lot of positivity, a lot of support and everything. There was also a couple of waves of extreme cyberbullying, and it was mostly from my own tribe, my own people, hurt people, and that crabs in the bucket and just like envy and just people that are unhappy, right? And so that was really hard. That was really hard to go through as a young woman. And I've learned a lot from those times. So from that moment, I used to look at my phone and I would look at social media before I did a gig, right? And then that's absorbing negative energy and everyone else's energy. So now I stay grounded by, I don't look at my phone before a gig, and I don't like collaborate with other like energies. Like I really protect my energy for that specific gig. And so that's also included in the fee, the speaking fee and the motivational fee, because I dedicate my whole day towards that organization and giving my whole spirit and good vibes and everything. Like energy is currency, and my energy is high top-notch frequency because I have a really good spiritual hygiene. I take really good care of myself, and it's those low moments of the bullying and feeling alone and before not having a good self-care routine, not having a good morning routine. Now I'm very dedicated to my own morning ritual, my own morning routine. Do I miss some days? Of course. Sometimes it's an afternoon routine instead of a morning. Yeah, whenever you can squeeze it in. So that, and then also the breath work, EFT tapping, and affirmations, positive affirmations. So I started doing positive affirmations before it was trendy. Yeah. And I didn't, that's like one of those divine things that just came to me. Yeah. And so at that moment that I'm talking about, where I was driving to a gig and I had seen like a bunch of cyber bullies, like they were really trying to hurt me and bring me down. And I put my phone away. I had like 30 minutes before the gig, and I started to look in the mirror in the car, and I just said, you have a purpose. You're here for a specific reason. You have gifts. These people in there want to hear what you have to say and what you've been through, the pain that you've walked through, the childhood that you've had. They've had a similar, they feel alone, and you have a message to share. You have good energy. You're a good person. You're a kind person. You're awesome. Like you have such, and I start pumping myself up, right? And becoming my own best friend, my own cheerleader. And so then it became from that negative, alone, dark feeling of being cyberbullied, I then transmuted it, alchemized it, and made it into a positive routine. So anytime then I adopted that, whenever I was going to do a talk or a workshop or anything, I would look in the mirror and be like, you got this, you're amazing, you give the best hugs, your heart is pure, remember who you are, and I just start like pumping myself up. So now it's a part of, and then the whole world, not saying I started it, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know how come I knew about it way back when, but then now, like, affirmations are such a big deal, and I'm like, I'm all for that, you know?
So how does your Mi'kmaq heritage shape your work and mission?
Yeah, so it's a huge part of what I do, and before I was a mom, I would always visualize the little children, the Native children, and how they might feel alone and how maybe I felt as a child. So relating to my inner child to the children and being that role model for them, being a big sister and showing them, look, you can do this, there's another way. And there is a lot of negative stereotypes that we grew up with as being an Indigenous person, such as another drunken Indian, res bum, staying on the reserve, never getting educated, never making a life for yourself, things like that, right? So not speaking your language. And so I just choose to pave the way for them, to show them, like, look, you can be an eagle, not a seagull. You can be your own person, how you want to succeed in your life, regardless of whatever others might say or think, or even if crabs in the bucket in the reserve, even if some other people are trying to bring you down, your own people. So I just show them, like, just keep on, even though it feels lonely, keep on doing what brings you joy, because our culture is so rich and it's so beautiful, and there's not too many of us left, and so it's really needed. We need more people to be sharing our Mi'kmaq culture and dance and songs and language and ceremonies.
What's one positive vibes only ritual or phrase you lean on when you need a boost?
Ooh, this is such a good one. I love reminding myself that I am divinely guided and protected. I am divinely guided and protected. So sometimes we want something. Maybe it's a job, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's something with whatever. And it feels like rejection. So rejection is redirection. Rejection is divine protection. So, in those moments, it's like, I'm divinely guided and protected. There's a reason why things are happening the way they're happening, even though we can't see it or we don't know it. Sometimes it's really hard. It's really frustrating. It seems impossible to get through those moments. And then we just, especially as Indigenous people, we have a lot of that faith in that prayer and creator, and just, there's things happening that are bigger than us.
So how has being a mom to Wasadeg and Nakoa influenced your business or daily life?
Yeah, you said their names right. Wasadeg and Nakoa. Yeah, so real quick, teaching. So Wasadeg is a Mi'kmaq word, and it's an old word that wasn't even found in any dictionaries or lexicons. Wow. And 3 elders confirmed it for me and what it meant. And so Wasadeg means from Elder Gilbert Sewell O means passed on in heaven in Waso. He said that the longest definition of Wasadeg is the first light that shines in the morning, right after the break of dawn, the very first peak of light that you see right before the whole sky lights up. That's Wasadeg. And then Helen Silaboy O from Eskazoni said it was also a bright light. And my Mi'kaju, Sarah Simoneau from Elsipogtog, New Brunswick, said it's the light, it's the bright light, yeah. Mm-hmm. So they knew like the shorter translations of it. And Gilbert, I believe it was Gilbert Sewell, I think I'm saying his name right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what his name is exactly. He was a sweet man from Pabineau First Nation, New Brunswick. So it's cool how like the different regions, the elders they're all passed now, but they all knew that. Yeah. And Nakoa is Hawaiian because I used to live there and I like identify so much with the Hawaiian culture, yeah. Aloha vibes, like just love, right? It's all about the love, heart chakra of the world. So Nakoa means warrior. And he's such a warrior, and he's such a bright light and an early riser. I'm like, why didn't I name you Sunset? Why did I name you or Sunrise? Yeah. So, sorry, what was the question again?
It was how have they influenced your business or daily life?
Okay, so before I was a mom, I loved sleeping in. Yeah. And I loved being a night hawk and working till 3 a.m. and then sleep in. That was my jam, like creative at night. Yeah. So I really had to switch that. And now, even when they're not with me and they're with their other parent, I still wake up early now. So I wake up early and I'll do the routine, like, the morning routine around the house, make sure it's a fresh vibe. And before I go to bed, I make sure the house is all a refreshed vibe. I wouldn't have been doing that if I didn't have them. I really wouldn't have, if I'm going to be honest. And also, I was never a routine person. I'm an Aquarius. I'm a free spirit. I'm a free bird. I don't like routines. I don't like that, but I've grown to love it now. I've had to, because children and puppies, they thrive off of routine and consistency. Yeah. And so, having the schedule of the meals, the meal plan, and having all these different schedules and everything, and like that consistency. So that's been a massive shift in my whole life is thank you, boys, because you're helping me level up as an individual. And what it actually has done for me, like professionally, with the whole consistency and schedules and everything, is like, it's kind of like okay, with this set scheduling, I now know what my capacity is and where I thrive the best. So I love my mornings to be sacred morning rituals and really pour into myself before I go and do a gig. So I love my gigs to be like at lunchtime until like 5. Like between 12 and 5, that's like my peak time to shine for the world, you know? And so then my evenings, I'll have like my evening routine and like weekends and stuff. But also just learning that balance of self-care, not overdoing it. I used to burn myself out a lot. Even as a new mom, working, a mompreneur and all that, trying to figure it all out. Oh my God, I used to get sick so much. Yeah, like going on airplanes. After every airplane, I get sick and started using like, you know, essential oils. On Guard helped me. So just, they've helped me so much to like level up as a mompreneur.
Yeah, that's awesome. Those are such beautiful names too.
Thank
With
you.
Really great meaning. I love that.
Thank you. I've never met another Wasadik. I've never met another Nakoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're so unique. What does success mean to you personally and professionally?
I love this question too. This is such a good one. Of course, when I was younger, I used to think success meant being rich, having a lot of money. Now, success to me is happiness. What is your happiness level?
Yeah.
How can we focus on the happiness? You know? So, as some natives say, some elders will say, I am rich. I am so rich. And then you start counting your blessings, because a lot of, you know, in the Mi'kmaq culture is, if you've ever seen us say a blessing or a prayer sometimes, it's like, we're so grateful for that blade of grass and that blade of grass and that ant and that little grasshopper. And it's like being grateful for the mosquito that just came, you know, like every little thing. And sometimes we're like, can we hurry up? We're hungry, like, you know. But it's the old ways of the Indigenous culture is let's be grateful for everything. When you can just stop in a moment and just be like, look, we're here right now. We're alive. We get to see a new day. We get to breathe. We get to walk. We get to be around good people. We get to see the sun. Like we get to like walk freely.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like just little things like that are an accumulation of that. You can collect your blessings and then see how rich you are aside from money. So that's how I define success now is the blessings.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's really important to like remember to be grateful for stuff, because sometimes people just see the negative, but then like as they get older, they wish they could go back and like spend more time like appreciating like the youth and the life they had before. So
that's so true. And you know, I love hanging out with elders, and I have this one dear elder friend named Aunt Mary, and she's still alive, and she's 100 years old. Wow. And the one thing she's taught me recently, which I'm really downloading and implementing, is just be present. Be present.
Yeah.
You know, be present. And I'm like, yeah. So now I've just more slowing down and really being more present with each person that's in front of me. Put the phone away, put the whole agenda away, like turn your mind off and just focus right now on this moment. And it's so beautiful. It's a simple thing. We've heard it lots and lots, but when you actually do it, and when you have a 100-year-old woman telling you to just be present, I'm like, okay, I'll listen to you.
Looking back, what kind of support or mentorship made the biggest impact on your journey?
Seed and Yak. So Seed and Yak, Youth Art Connection. So I grew up in a small town in New Brunswick, a reserve, Elsipogtog First Nation, 5,000 people. And I remember when I moved to Halifax, I remember feeling at the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey, wow, the amount of support that's here, the amount of resources, it's like an abundance of support. And I remember I was just such a young, you know, in my early 20s, and I was like, wow, oh my God, like you just tell anyone anything that you're doing, they're like bombarding you with links and everything. And I'm just like, wow, like I just remember feeling extremely supported, extremely like everything was possible, and it really boosted my whole career. And I remember thinking I am so blessed to have all of these resources, and I highly recommend that, you know, if you have something like one of these organizations near you, really get tapped in and involved, because there is a lot of funding and there is a lot of money that people don't tap into. And so we don't know about it until we tap into the right, you know, organizations like Seed and like Yak. So I love you, Seed, and thank you for everything. And I'm honored to be a Seed alumni. And I'm also a Seed alumni mentor now, too.
Yeah.
So I'm part of the mentorship program. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining us today and speaking to us.
Thank you for having me, Walalin
Yes.
and Namultis. You want to say Namultis?
Namultis.
You got it. That means I'll see you again because we don't believe in goodbyes.
Yes.
So Namultis.
Namultis.